For us, it's our main port of contact really. We don't, we have mailing lists, we don't have a huge marketing budget. The only way we can let people know in their town that our album's out, aside from the PR team that will do continual PR for the album and reviews coming out, is through Facebook and Twitter. Was MySpace for us. MySpace is completely dead, it doesn't work at all, no one's on it. So it's a tool for us to contact our fans and let them know what's going on, and also through Twitter contacting other bands and even magazines, and having a relationship with them via Twitter is a nice way to develop relationships without having to bang down doors really. So I think it's very useful. I'd say for us at the moment, Twitter is probably the best for us in terms of getting instant reaction and having a relationship with fans where we can reply to them or they can reply to us and we can see what's going on. But Facebook, we've got a high number of fans, and in each process they search you, they find you. So you know that people are coming to you and you know that they want to follow you and they're interested in what you're saying. I think at the moment I'm probably using Twitter, and what we've done is we've done a 6 Day Riot Twitter page, and we've also done each band member so we can converse between us, and the fans quite enjoy our inter-band reactions. And while we're on tour we're in the tour bus, but we'll talk to each other on Twitter and fans can get some kind of idea of the relationship we have. So I think that's just a way we've tried, another way to connect with the fans as well. It's really the only way that we get our videos out. We do have a plugger, but we've not really had it on any main TV shows or broadcasts except for when our music was used in Skins. So as our own music videos, apart from blogging sites that have put links up, YouTube is the way that we connect and we let people see what we're doing. So it's vital for us. I don't think there's any other. We have stuff on our website, we have our videos up there, but I think a lot of people, the first port of call will be to go on YouTube and search the band, see what they're like live, see what the videos are like, and we're trying to build that constantly. Oh, well, I'm unsure. We've had a lot of spot plays which haven't amounted to vast improvement of this level we are. I think it gets the name out. I think you need to be playlisted for it to have a huge effect. We get a lot of radio play. Maybe because of that I'm unsure what the impact is of just one single play compared to constant. I'd say, sometimes we get a few plays in a week from various different stations, various different DJs. Sometimes we'll get none. I think only when we get playlisted will we know the full effect that would have on a band.
What are the obstacles getting playlisted?
The same obstacles as we generally have as a band, that mainly we're not a major label, we have little pool, and if a big label release an artist the same week as us, regardless of whether we have support, which we at Six Music, head of playlist, really supports us and likes our music, doesn't really matter because they're going to go with the major act. That's just how it always works. So that's the obstacle for press as well that we will constantly face as a band.
How important has criticism been both in the press and on the internet?
I'd say it's really important for us. Even in terms of us being able to use on flyers and promotional material for pull quotes, and B, because it gets your name out, even if perhaps it doesn't mean that person's going to buy your record, even if critically we've had great critical acclaim, but even if they're not going to buy it just because you've had a review, it constantly gets your name about. So when you do a festival and people see your name, they recognise the name, and whether or not they know what you sound like or whether or not they love you, they might come and see you. So it's vital for us. It's the only way for us to, as I said before, without a marketing budget to advertise, the only way we can constantly get our name around.
Does it make any difference whether you get good reviews or mediocre ones, do you think?
I'd say at our level, the better the review, the larger the impact. I think if you're getting mediocre reviews, perhaps because no one knows who you are, they may not be interested. Whereas if you get a good review, it'll give someone the incentive to at least follow up and have a look and do a bit of research about you. And so far, this new album, we've had fantastic reviews, the best we've ever had. So, and some of our gigs on our last tour saw venues more full, and I'd say it's probably to do with our reviews.
So you think the reviews circulate in the industry and affect the extent to which you get asked to do?
Yeah, I'd say well, we need good reviews, and we need reviews to get booked for festivals each year, because it gets our name back out when someone's in the process, the promoter's in the process of booking, they see our name, they see a good review, and they say, oh okay, let's get 16 right down. And so I think it's really important for us. It's the connection with the fans, it's the interaction. I say we perform the songs differently live than we do on record.
In what way are they different?
Perhaps more energy. We try and interact with the audience, so certain songs we get them to sing along or clap along, and it's a process very much of reading the audience. And you can have a set list, but if they're not willing to listen that night, then maybe you'll change your set list. And if they are willing to listen, maybe you'll strip it down and do a nice, two-piece performance, and then bring the rest of the band on. So you have to read the audience, whether they're willing to give you time. And when you support an act, you're very much there to entertain and try and build a new fan base, so you'll put your most upbeat performance forward. And when you're doing your own gig, you'll structure it because your fans know the songs, and you'll build the set and take them on a ride. So I love the live performance side of it.
How long does it take to learn how to read an audience, would you say?
It's taken quite a long time. I've been performing live for at least 6 years, I think now. And now I think I really understand an audience, and I'll change a set list just after 2 songs, knowing the feedback I'm getting and from looking at people's eyes and the reaction you're getting. And also I think, you can do a gig on a Saturday night and everyone's had a few drinks, then you're going to do an upbeat, lively performance. You're not going to try and make the crowd listen, because they won't listen. So it's also common sense as well, I think. On a personal level, I've started to, I'm going to be doing some lecturing on running my own record label, and I'm looking at other avenues for working with other people and co-writing, and I've just had a song used in a trailer for a new film, so that these are avenues for me as a writer. As a band, we are constantly looking at support slots. This is really vital for us to get in front of new audiences and build up a fan base, because if we can build a larger fan base and fill more people and in larger rooms, then we can get larger fees. And then if we get larger fees, we're making a living, and then the festivals will put us higher on the bill, because more people will come to see us, and then we'll get higher fees for that as well. To keep the band interested, we constantly need exciting and new projects, exciting tours. We've been offered the chance to tour Europe for the first time. We're doing well in the Channel Islands, and we're looking at doing an island tour as well as the Scottish Islands. So I think it's trying to be innovative and trying to find places that we're doing particularly well and work on those places and make those the places where we're making the money, concentrate on those areas, and also trying to cut out the lesser gigs really. Some gigs will do for favours for DJs that support us, or friends or other bands that we're friends with that will be of benefit to us in some way, or just to thank them for support. But in general, from now on, we're not really going to do any free gigs or any low fee gigs. We're going to just concentrate on the good highly paid gigs now, I think. Yeah, we had a tour where we had poor sales and poor attendance, as have most bands this year, and morale was pretty low, mine as well, and I think it can be really hard to get everyone motivated again. But we were lucky, we ended up supporting Seth Lakeman at Shepherd's Bush, supporting Bell and Sebastian at the Barrowlands, and doing a great gig in Guernsey right at the end of the year, just when we needed it, and morale was back up again. And I think perhaps if we hadn't had that, everyone would have been really seriously thinking about whether or not this could continue. But I think what it comes down to is that every single one of us love music, and we love making music, and we'll find ways to do other jobs and continue doing music because it's what we're passionate about. So as much as I think it can be hard for me, obviously because I'm in the band, I'm friends with the band and I manage the band, it can be very hard for me to find a balance and make everyone happy. It comes down to them wanting to be there, and if they don't want to be there, that's when they'll decide if they don't want to do music, really. I think they're there for the long haul if they want to continue doing music. I think the challenges we constantly face is really to be taken seriously as a band by the industry, because we're not signed as they see it. We have to break through this year, we have to break through that barrier, we have to force them to listen to our songs on a level as another band that have the major label behind them. And I think we're starting to break down barriers. We have support from some quite important people, but it's really, what we really need is people to put their neck on the line a little bit and really support us properly, and not just say they're supporting us. And this is the biggest problem. I think also advertising, finding a way to advertise and finding some innovative marketing plans that will be low cost, no cost, but will kind of get us out there for the wider audience. And these are things we're constantly, as a band, discussing and trying to work out ventures and ways to get our name out. Because I think people now know who we are, but people don't know we're in their city and they don't know our album's out. So this is something, as we can't afford £50,000 to advertise in The Guardian, we need to kind of look at other avenues and how we can do that. So that's our biggest problem at the moment.